This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your live market weekend chat for Sunday, October 1st, 2023. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. Hopefully you're doing well. Let's talk about everything that we need to talk about for next week. I'm also going to be doing the live recap, so I'm going to open it up for questions initially, and then we'll go into the live chat, or the weekend recap that I will record, and then guess what? We'll do it. We'll do it all. We're going to do it. And so I'm here for as long as needed. It's interesting because, again, if you're new to the channel, join the Discord room. I'll drop the link in the description. Had a lot of people kind of just, having struggles, which, again, I'm glad people are honest. I just love honesty because there is a part of growth. This is a community. We support each other. No one is perfect. Things are gonna happen that you don't expect. Life's going to happen. You're going to struggle. I mean, it's just part of the game. And so if you're willing to be vulnerable, we're willing to help. And I'm willing to be vulnerable too and tell you exactly how I've been in your same position and where I've been and how things go. And a friend of ours, having a little struggles. They did some things during last week that blew up in their face, but acknowledging it, that's how you heal. Awareness is the first step to curing things. And if things happen to you and you make mistakes in trading, it happens. Just remember that. So I was just reading the text. I'm sorry. And so let's open up. If you have any questions, again, they kicked the can 45 days down the road, it looks like. Will the market rally? Well, again, it's the first of the month. There's potentially some new money that comes in. Again, October can be scary. I mean, at this point, is there really anything positive? I mean, they kicked the can down the road. Right? You got OPEC meeting on Wednesday. You got jobs numbers on Friday, which everyone knows those are going to be getting worse, right? You got some, ISM manufacturing Monday. I mean, it's just going to be one of those weeks where I think new money, it's going to be up and down, right? But I think the top is in. I know the top is in. It's just a matter of when's the next wave down. And so that's what we need to talk about, discuss. So if you have any questions, holler, and then if not, I'll just jump into the recap. If you have any questions, again, in the friends trading chat, drop them in there. Just gonna let this one run, but at some point here in a minute or two, if no one has any questions, I'm gonna run the the daily market recap and then go from there. So just want to let some people kind of funnel in, and if you have questions now, just go get it. Let's look at the ES futures real quick. Let's look at the ES futures. Okay, they bounced. They're not over Friday's high, which is interesting. Held the 200-day NQ futures up a little more, right? Still below. I guess, I don't know. You could draw a box. Let's draw a box. Everyone loves drawing boxes. Oh, not that one. Sorry. Yeah, that's kind of the box I'd be looking for. And again, can we get over it temporarily? Absolutely. Again, OPEC meeting on Wednesday. I've said they're going to continue to cut as much as they can. Oil prices are at prices that I'm pretty sure they're not complaining about. If they cut a little supply, they get higher prices. They know the U.S. and our leadership and a lot of the world's leadership is going green, and that is cutting off supply. And so, again, we'll know more about it, but I anticipate, again, demand destruction, recession, those kind of things will push oil prices down, but I don't think we're going negative futures pricing. Any other questions, thoughts, concern? If not, I will jump into recording. It'll take about 15 minutes. If you have questions about a particular stock, because I'm going through it during my recording, please ask. If not, at the end, let's open it up for general discussion, jokes, comments, whatever you think is worth talking about. I am here to do it. So let's jump into it. I'm just going to do the recording, get that over with. Let's get this party popping. Yeah, there we go. Let me get all these tabs open. Just restarted my computer, got back in town from Idaho. A lot of you guys know, been out of towner. Apologize again, there weren't as many recaps. Tried to do some lives. I know the quality was pretty shiitake because my internet up there. We're about to get, what's the Elon? Starlink up there at some point because it's just man, you can't get internet worth a crap. All right, so we're going to start the recording. Appreciate everybody. If you have any questions, interrupt me. If not, I'm going to flow through this. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market weekend review for Sunday, October 1st, 2023. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. A lot to talk about as we get into this week. You have jobs numbers on Friday. You have OPEC Wednesday. You have a plethora of data this week, and it's new money, new month. It is October. Scary time, potentially. Again, futures are up because supposedly they're going to kick the can down the road 45 days, and we're going to be having the same battle here about a budget. And this thing is probably going to get ugly. So if you're new to the channel, want to join the Discord room, link in the description below. New to the YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm telling you, get alerts of these live chats. And then you have the Back to Basics videos. They're also on my website, thetradingagent.com. Here they are, Back to Basics for more beginner to advanced, top to bottom. Also, too, Marcus account, if you want that I think it's 5.4%. Isn't it 5.4%? They bumped it up, I thought, from 5.3 for a promotion rate. But every time you share it, someone joins, you get the promotion rate. I love the app. I think it's sweet. If you're also looking to get away from, say, Schwab or some of these other brokerages that are scarier than crap, there's a link for Interactive Brokers. I've never had a problem with them, never seen anything about what they're up to other than that just they're a brokerage trying to take your money like every other one, but they don't have solvency issues. Also follow on Twitter. Is that Twitter? Always here to help. And again, reach out when in doubt. All right, Fed Watch tool. What's coming up in November? Pause. Not surprised, but not pivot. Bitcoin holding up pretty well. Getting back up into this 28,000, it's interesting because you got like a head and shoulders top with a him and hers top, and then you're bouncing again. It's all over the place. Just be careful. The oil, as we talked about, hitting areas that probably reject. Man, 95 basically to a T. I think it's toast. Now, could it be choppy in front of OPEC? Absolutely. So give yourself time. If you have shorts on, and again, trade around your positions. Like it's not going to go in a straight line move down yet, in my opinion. Nat gas, all over the place. I don't even know why I talk about it, but at this point, it's a dead money. The dollar, 11 straight weeks of up. Man, it's tough. I mean, there's just a lot going on in the world, and you remember debt destruction. What do you want? Dollars? You want yuan? You want euros? You want lira? What do you want? It's like the worst turd out there. And so people are the dollar is a polished turd that people are sticking to. Bonds, a lot of people saying this might be the time to buy it. We definitely have the volume down here. Definitely think there's a bounce. However, I don't know if now is the time to buy bonds for the long run buy and hold. I'd be looking for a bounce, a chop, and then maybe a time to buy it. But again, could I be wrong? Absolutely. But we know tops and bottoms are pretty choppy with bonds. I've seen it before. Seen it many a times, bounce back. Here's multiple chop tops. Could it be a while? That's the question. Is it the best trade out there? If you want to protect your money potentially with stops, you're not probably going to lose a ton if you're wrong. It's easy to find your risk, but is it going to move and be the best trade? That's kind of what we're looking for. The best trades. The VIX. Not surprised. Hit the 200-day. Not 200. Hit the channel. Backed off at the 200-day. We'll see what happens. VIX showed for sure, once we said, filled the gap. Now it's backing off. Some support. We'll see what happens here. Again, I'm expecting volatility to pick up. SPY. People are saying that was the bottom. And I'm like, man, it might be a temporary short-term bottom. I mean, we're just basically getting back into this box. Is that really, you know what I mean, after dropping from 450 down to 420s, and then you rally back 10, 15 points potentially, or you never know. I mean, we're gapping, the futures are up, but you could wake up tomorrow and they're down. You never know. QQQQQ. Same kind of thing. Makes new lows, bounces back to the 100-day. Could it fill this gap? I don't know. If it's a professional gap, it probably won't, but it could try. IWM, we talked about how the IWM leads, it's been acting like poo-poo platter. Makes new lows, coming back down into major lows, not seen since 2020 dose. Do you trust it? Okay, we'll see. Dia having some issues, right? Having some issues, right? We talked about it. Okay. Gold. Again, I get trolled by a ton of people, and I just told him, like, please wait till the Feds pivot. But I gotta buy gold. As your resident gold expert, wait for the Fed pivot. Now, we talked about this weekend the monthly. Oh, I mean, there is a trend line. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't share this. Down in this 160s. But do we expect to be quiet and easy? No. So I would just keep an eye on it. I mean, I think we got lower to go. And I've warned people, leave this shit alone. Leave the miners alone. They get crushed. Nope, people want to pick up a penny in front of a steamroller. Look at silver. Gaps up, kapow. How far? I mean, this thing. So again, all these things, if you've previous blowouts in the market, these things aren't safe. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't come back down to like this old trend line down here, multiple, 15 area. GDX, we talked about miners being cooked. Oh, that's the monthly. My bad. Oh, okay. Well, again, now, could they chop around? Like someone says, like if it's up tomorrow, someone's going to be like, you were wrong. It's like, okay, they're making lower lows, lower highs. We told you to get out up here. No. Okay. All right, whatever. Don't even argue with these people. AG, we talked about being oversold, getting down to like actually the monthly trend line. Not surprised it bounced. But again, if credit is the problem, credit issues, these things could get throttled. AEM, we talked about again. All these names look like poop. Newmont hits the 20-day, right? Sorry, no, 50-day in this box. My bad. I'm just trying to remember what it was. It was not the 20. 50, said maybe the 100-day. Couldn't get there. Makes new lows. Things that aren't bullish. But now, again, they've gone from up to pile down. Could there be a reprieve? I mean, could the dollar take a break? Maybe. We will see, right? Never know. Let's get into tech. Taiwan Semi. Makes new lows, bounces back. Not much to say. It looks like crap. Micron earnings are absolute disaster, in my opinion. Gaps down, rallies back. Somebody, I think it was Harry's talking about, shorting up here in the 68 range. Makes sense to me, my friend. I mean, if it got back up to 70s, I don't know why you just do it again. I mean, it looks like a choppy, sloppy mess, but this feels like a trap for bulls. Adobe hold support. Again, we talked about it being done with earnings. It's just a matter of time, not if, when these get crushed. Apple goes from, I don't know, pops up really quickly up to 180, drops down to 167. I still think it's going to get to 200-day. I mean, this trend line this is not real. I don't know why. I mean, the trend has broken. Next stop. I mean, here it is. You're welcome. I wouldn't be surprised if we break the 200-day like we broke the 100-day, then we rally again. It's going to be, again, I hope it turns into a straight line move because this is the lower high, but don't be surprised when you get some of these 2 or 3 day reprieves, maybe even a week. Amazon, we told you, cooked. Goodbye. Professional gap. Goodbye. CRM, again, gaps up on earnings. We told you it was a problem. Look at the action. Goodbye. Makes a new low, but it bounces back. Okay. Again, every day. If you think you can predict every candle perfectly, you crazy. Guggenheim bounces back to the 20-day. Remember, the first dip gets bought. This is interesting. Garrett hits the channel high, backs off, hits the old channel. Uh-oh. Keep an eye on it. Like, again, I'm putting that Googie on the short list hard there because that, again, the lower high, give me that. Meta, if you shorted this on Friday, looking pretty good. Pretty wide and loose. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say like we nailed this. No, I mean, we took some shorts, covered some, and then rallied back, and it's like, man, it got back up there. Okay. I mean, Meta should be on your list with tight stops, right? I hope so. People understand. Microsoft, this thing's been toast. We called the top. We said the day that they announced subscription model, bang. Retest the lows. I mean, it's possible for it to bounce around. I mean, it's not like strong. NDAQ breaks the channel or the trend. Adios, amigos. MicroStrategy, same kind of thing. Look what's happening here, folks. Coming back down to the range lows. Netflix, if you shorted this in the 450 range, you are loving it. Now down to the 200-day. I mean, is it going to rally that strong? I don't know. This is kind of one of those stocks that it could get just beaten till the end of the year. I mean, I don't know why anyone would buy it now. I mean, the momentum is lost. Roblox, talk about this thing being just all over the place, getting beaten. Man, that's a nice rally back. But look where it's at. I mean, I always thought we might get the 50-day. Maybe it turns into like a megaphone where it gets wider highs, wider lows. Keep that in mind. Tesla, you're welcome. You know, we talked about shorting this where? Up here, you did. High five to you. Look at that. That was a gift. Professional gap. Now at holding the 100-day. It's just, I feel like it's just a matter of if, not when it breaks. I don't know why I missed some of the semis, but we'll get through AMD. Right? We talked about breaking 200-day, bounces back, gets an upgrade. Watch the 20-day. NVIDIA. Yeah, I mean, it oversold, right? It goes from 500 down to 410. Watch the 20, 50-day cross. Looks pretty simple to me. Intel, we told you, get out at 40. Drops, chopping around. Blah. SMH. Right? I mean, it... Okay, holds trend. 20, 100-day cross. I mean, these look really simple for shorts. Just define your risk. Letter X, we've talked about this getting bought out. I mean, it's holding up pretty well. Nucor, now this was a short again. Talked about this on Friday. Watched the trend line in 20 days. Ka-toon. Things look like they're going lower. Caterpillar, I know this has been frustrating, but what do we say? Watch the 20-day. Doink. I mean, that candle just said goodbye. We'll see if it, we'll see how tomorrow turns with the futures. VALE. Again, I mean, you could trade these. We talked about it, but it's like, do you really want to go long? I get people who are just like super like emotional about like, this is the long-term bottom. These prices are so cheap. And I'm like, no, they're not cheap. You have not seen an extreme. You have not seen the VIX in the 50 plus. You have not seen extreme action. Get out of here. Arrow, talked about this, probably could get pounded. CCJ, finally starting to get a little choppy up here. This looks like the top. Now, again, short, define your risk. I mean, is there a buyout target? I don't know, but that is clearly a topping short-term top mechanism. Now, again, does it have to dump? No, but could it be just like a chop drop? Maybe, but it looks toast to me. Everyone's been trying to hide in uranium, just like they tried to hide in oil. Ag names, some bouncy bounces. Not surprised. We mean, again, we'll be looking at these when the market just throws out the baby with the bathwater. NTR, same thing. AA, Sam, if you're listening, I know you bought this. If you did, congrats. Again, is it just the best trade? I mean, it's just, this is what's so hard. If you want to go long names, you go right ahead. But I don't want to be responsible for your pain and frustration if it didn't work out. And so I'm glad it works out, but whatever. XLF, we talked about financials look ugly, right? Not good. JP Morgan, not good, right? Bouncing, chopping around. I mean, once it breaks, it could get cooked. But they might hold up into earnings. Just keep that in mind. Morgan Stanley, holding on to dear life. We talked about it 200-day. Look at that, 5 days, and then poof. Now 5 days chop, and then, I don't know, Goldman Sachs back at the channel low. Good. Keep an eye on this stuff. KRE, it went from, 50 down to 40 pretty quick. Okay. Does it need a little baby bounce? I mean, 20, 100-day, all this stuff makes sense. XBI, which got pounded, right? It just, due to bounce, like, look, it goes from 81 down to 72, back at range lows, little bounce. I mean, keep an eye on this stuff. It doesn't look good. HYGs, we talked about corporate debt, not so hot right now. Breaking channels, but choppy all over. Solar. I mean, if you shorted this stuff like we talked about, you're absolutely crushing it. We said once it failed, this 55, 56, goodbye. Sedge. Okay, good. It's like taking the steps down. It's pretty nice. ENPH, CEO buys some shares. We've seen this. CEO tries to promote the stock by buying a minimal amount of shares when he dumped up here. Try to get people to look the other way. Okay. First Solar. Yeah. I mean, it's over. It's just, again, will it be a straight line? That's what you got to ask yourself. And it's probably not. Throw Moderna in there because it's interesting. It's like, man, this thing is choppy. It's like, man, really was hoping it would hold here. It went lower. Higher low. Again, COVID. Is COVID coming back? That's how I feel like they're going to try to kill oil. Oil, again, if you shorted USO in the like 82, 83 range, you're looking pretty good. Even if you got 81, 80, I think you're looking all right. This looks like a novice gap trap top. We talked about intraday. If you look at some of the formations, like there was some definitely distribution. UNG, I can't even see it. It's going nowhere. XOP, if you shorted this in 154, we talked about it dropping down, holding support, rally back stronger than I thought, but now it's kind of looking like a little head and shoulders here, y'all. Little island floating reversal. Keep an eye on that, right? ExxonMobil, if you shorted this one, 117 plus, you got that trap on Friday or Wednesday, and look at that. Novice gap. Keep an eye on it. Fills the gap. We'll see if this holds up. I mean, again, this will be very telling if this stuff holds up. Oxy, same thing. Lower highs with a gap. Gap trap. We'll see. MPC, been frustrating. Choppy top. I mean, not surprised, but 20-day. PXD, nice little bounce, right? 220 up to the 20-day. It looks like it's toast. EQT holding up after, going from 44 down to 38. Okay. Testing this gap. I mean, this stuff all looks like crap. Flex LNG, I like this name long-term with the dividend, but we got to wait. We got to let the market play out. So if you have any questions about the markets, please reach out. If you need, use the Calendly link below. 30 minutes. Interactive Brokers, if you have any questions about your brokerage, because some of these are going to be bellying up. If you want the 5.4% interest rate, Marcus account, I think it's Chrome. If you have any questions, again, please reach out. I appreciate all the love, support, and the generous donations. You guys are the best. If you want to donate, link in the description below. I don't Again, I do all this for free, hoping to keep your tuition low. If you want to buy me a beer, I don't care. I'll appreciate it. Again, when the people start donating, it makes me pay attention to their well-being. I care just by naturally, but if you start really investing in me, now you're basically I want to invest back in you. I appreciate it. It really does. It means a lot to me and my family because, again, I do this for free. I don't expect it, but if you want to help out, that is tight. I love it. If you got any questions about real estate too, real estate, oof. Do not be scared to reach out. All right, I'm going to stop the recording. Now we're back to the live, just streaming. If you have any questions, jump in, holler at your boy. What you got? Just curious real quick. UFPI, my buddy's company. Lumber Uchter. What? Man, that is choppy. You want to talk about a chop top? IYT, we talked about the transports leading. Okay. Due to bounce, maybe the 20. I don't know. This stuff looks like absolute garbage. I know some people who shorted housing. Like, oh no, actually, well, I can't remember. They may have given up, but man, this is not interest rates this high. No. Let's look at UPS and FedEx. Just curious real quick. Yeah. Oof. FedEx. And Interesting. That is interesting. That could be a double top trap. Walgreens popped on Friday. Yeah, congratulations. It finally popped, but nobody owns it or cares, right? I hope not. I hope no one owns it. I mean, it's like, man, what is the value of Walgreens? We could all sit here and pretend that we know, I guess. No, I'd always do WAG. It's Walgreens Boots Alliance, WBA. End of the month. I mean, here's a little phenomenon. If you shorted this June 1st, you probably took some profits. Maybe that's all that was, is just a short squeeze. Again, I wouldn't trust it though, but we'll see what happens. I mean, trash can float. What's AM? Speaking of trash, AMC, what has that been up to? Oh God. Ooh, what about GameStop? Ugh. Again, waste of time in life trading these trash names. Again, if you get lucky and they bounce, get the fuck out. Run. Right. Please. Let's have a small chronic break. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns, again, other than Walgreens? Which, again, who cares? It's like, and I say this is like, here's a great example of how to describe Walgreens stock. If you were in the trade and it went and you missed it, it's like dating a girl and you break up and then you're like following her on social media and you're stalking her, seeing if she's got another boyfriend or another, a boy has another girlfriend. Like, you're wasting a tremendous amount of time and effort stalking something that should be out of your life and should be moving on from. Does that make sense? I hope that's a good analogy, because that's literally what it is. Like, again, if you lose in a trade or you miss something, like, investing heavily in like what happened after the fact is it's all about remorse and regret. It's like self-loathing. Like, why would you do that? How about TQQ? I got some 25 puts for 14. Whoa. 2025? 25 puts for $4? Ooh, I would never do that. No way. No. Way too far out in time. I mean, you can catch a double with puts with way less time and higher probabilities. That's aggressive, man. Like, that's for $4. So your implied break even is 21. That's way down here. Yeah, that's a hard one to palate. Like, I feel like you can find 1,000 better trades than buying out the 25 puts. I mean, honestly, like, if the market drops, are you just gonna ride those all the way through? I mean, again, it makes sense that you could, but for 4 and 30, man, it really implies. Again, remember, shorting has limited downside. I think you could have picked another tech name and traded around it and expect the pop and then take it. Again, I'm not trying to be critical in a mean way, but I just think that's just kind of overkill, right? Like, you will probably be right, but is it the best opportunity with your cash? I mean, I don't know. It's probably pretty safe, but I just think you could find things that'll move more points so that you get more delta. Because remember, delta is important, like how many points you can get. Like, I don't know where the TQQ, I mean, 35, I mean, maybe it gets down to 15. I mean, maybe that turns into a triple. No, I mean, no, actually, it'd be just a double. Yeah, that's what's just hard. I mean, with that kind of excessive movement, you would really hope that you get hundreds of percent, multiple hundreds. Yeah, TY, and again, I mean, dude, I was thinking about you a lot, man, because we've all been there, man. I mean, I was going through some pretty wild crap in my life because of my marital stuff, and it definitely affects you. I mean, you just can't pretend that your emotions and the market do not get nixed. And if they do, then you got to be careful. You got to be like, all right, if something doesn't seem right, do less. You know, the market will be open next week, next month, next year. We hope. So trying to force trades or force like you got to do something, market's really good at penalizing us for that. Just keep that in mind. That's what I also talk about. Like, if you want a short heavy, wait for a bounce. Pick your names. Don't just jump back in. How low might oil go? No, I know. Trust me, Thomas. I don't think you're going to be wrong on it. I just don't know if it's the best bang for your buck. How low might oil go? I mean, long term? I've said this many times before. I wouldn't be, I mean, it held our mid 60s. I mean, again, if there's a true recession and market rampage, I mean, you do the math here. Come on, oil, why are you not updating? Why are you not updating? Let me see if it'll give me proper. I mean, I would not be surprised by the mid 60s. I mean, could we get back to like the election price? 50s? Again, it's not going to be a straight line. But if you did trade oil in 2008, you did trade oil during COVID, you do understand there's such a thing called demand destruction. There is a thing called demand destruction. And when crap hits the fan, it's over. Ascending wedge, I mean, I don't know. I look at it as like a top. I mean, the top's going to have many different formations. That's why I don't like to like label them, because if it's a wedge and it doesn't break the wedge, you might say, well, it's not topping. Well, what if it's a head and shoulders top? What if it's a double top with him and hers top? What if it's a chop top? I mean, there's just so many variables out there of calling tops in certain ways that I don't like to call a particular formation until it happens. I just expect retest or some sort of lower high. And if I'm wrong, you're wrong. I mean, it's just stop out, game over, whatever it happens. There's no certainty in trading. It's trying to find the best probability trades when you can. I hope that helps. Because again, if you really want to believe that somehow that you know everything always, no. So again, I think 50s, I mean, we don't know. That's the whole thing here, is that I don't like trying to trade based on price targets, because if you trade on price targets, it's better to trade on the action because it'll give you more, honesty. It's like people are asking me, like, where's the TLT bottom after it broke? I'm like, I don't know. Let's just wait for the action. Well, you got your novice gap, or you got your gap traps, and now you got the volume. So it's more likely going to be down here now. Right? You got it. And so that's where I would try to, just kind of leave it at that. So if you got any, again, I mean, it's the thing about certain people that I can see immediately from the way that they think about trading is they're looking for certainty. They're not looking at a trade going, I can be wrong. And that's the problem. Like, you got to have in this mindset that you're going to be wrong 1 out of 5 times minimum. And so if you're looking for trades and your belief is that you're finding the next big winner, it creates this mindset that people are going to do what? They're going to go bigger every time they start winning. And so then they give it right back. Been there, done that, understand that. Psychology of that is immensely ego driven, because the ego self-preserving, but also loves validation. Loves validation. Loves when you're right. Loves to be right. Loves that you can't be wrong. Does this make sense? So be careful, because if your ego is driving the train here versus your higher self kind of consciousness, this ability to like disassociate from the trade and just follow your plan, and your plan being the more you're up, the less you own, the more you see something move in your direction and the action starts to seem to be potentially due for chop, top, whatever, you know it's coming, like you either act on it or you give yourself time. Like all these little things, like they have to be in your mind. Like you have to be very clear. You have to be very conscious. And I just noticed that some people who post and talk, like you can tell they're just not conscious. They'll try to pick up a penny in front of a steamroller. They'll try to short something that just isn't right. Or they'll try to go long something. Again, I've been there. How do I know? I've been there. They'll do something that's like, that's low probability. And they get mad when I say, I wouldn't do that. Well, are my I didn't do that calls always correct? Not always, but they are pretty good. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So any other thoughts, questions, concerns? If not, I'll wrap up the live chat. Again, the psychology of this stuff. If you look at, again, and this is not to pick on Scott, but if you're sitting around watching Walgreens and it bounces after and you're like, care about it, again, it's like following an ex on social media. Like, just move on. Like, if you're not going to trade it, what's the point of watching it? Right? Like, I wouldn't. Like, I just delete a ticker. If I miss it and it doesn't work out, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, woe is me, I should have done that. I mean, you can learn from it, but don't sit there and, like, watch it. Like, there was some sort of something you should have done differently. Like, if it wasn't the right trade at the right times, well, it's okay. It is absolutely okay. But just don't have this like mindset of like, oh, I got to watch stuff after it moves. And oh, it happened now, because you somehow believe like the market. And this is the thing. I know this for a fact. You start to believe that you somehow are bad luck or good luck, or the market really cares what you think. And when I stop out, now it's going to go higher. No, the market doesn't give two fucks about what you, me, or anyone on this channel thinks about. Do you know that? Right? Of course. And so why would someone waste emotional capital on it, right? Does this make sense? Can I get a hell yeah? If you get that, like, keep that in mind, right? It's like Moderna. That was one I was wrong on, right? I shut it off. I stopped watching it. I mean, it's on the chat because other people but like, once I stopped out, I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going back for more. I knew there was better trades out there. Does this make sense? Did you see me talking about, well, all right, we stopped out at, I think, 103, 102. Oh, do I need to jump back in? It's at 100. Oh, it's at 98. No, I just was like, you know what? I'm leaving it alone. There's other trades out here setting up easier. Does this make sense? Again, can I get a hell yeah? Because this is the kind of thinking you have to think. Like, all right, if you're wrong on something, just move on. And you can always come back, right? You can always come back, but like, just don't like have this mental infatuation with the market, you know, is somehow penalizing me or it matters. Like my thoughts matter to the market. Start believing your own, like, oh, if I just, I'm smarter than the market. If I just would have, because then what you're going to do is you're going to second guess your discipline the next time. And that's when you're really going to fuck yourself. Excuse my language. That's really when you're going to screw things up, is that you're going to start believing like your own hype. And you're just like, oh, if I would have just done this. Remember that last example? If I would have just held through it, if I would have just held, I would have been right. No. Your discipline is your discipline. And again, all it takes is one fucking mistake and you're wiped out. You can't do that. You just can't do that. So hope that helps. Again, no questions. Maybe people watching football. Appreciate the love, support, the generous donations, the super chats, all that stuff is very cool, man. I'm going to let you guys go. If you need me, I'll be around. Check you in the Discord room. Link in the description above. Please, if you get mad that I try to push you to a higher level of thinking and trying to get you to see your own mistakes, to sidestep, because again, I'm not promising certainty, just like you shouldn't be promising yourself certainty, but I'm also trying to push you to see like this kind of thinking. It might not, they say pride before the fall. That's the problem here, is you're developing pride in your trading, and then that's when you fall. I get it. I've been there, done that. All right. I will see you guys and gals